Good morning, children. This is me, Teacher Helen, and welcome to our lesson in music. So, our lesson is all about intervals in music. So, what are intervals in music? Study the picture. What have you noticed? Yes, scouters. When Boy Scouts march, they keep the same distance from each other, right? They take uniformly sized steps to maintain this distance. It takes practice and discipline to march like them. Of course, they need to follow a specific counting when marching and conduct their movements accordingly. There are in scouting, there is someone who will lead them and will count. So, why they perform in unison? Uh, why they march the same size steps? Because they count. They have or they follow specific counting. So in music, there is also a specific way to count the distances between notes. So in this lesson, we will find out about intervals in music. So what are intervals? This is the distance between two notes or tones. The size or distance of an interval can be called as prime or the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Or we called it as octave. So, in mathematics, so we have counting numbers. Oh, I will give you example by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So what are the intervals of those number? Right, 2. They have 2 interval. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How about this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So what are the interval? 3, right. Okay, how about this? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, the interval is 5. Very good. Now, let's proceed to music. Study the interval of notes. Okay, this in your screen, you can see staff. And we use treble clef, the G clef. Okay, we have 8 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, number 1 is for prime. Number 2 is for second. Number 3 is for third. Number 4 is for fourth. Number 5 is for fifth. Number 6 is for sixth. Number 7 is for seventh. And 8 is for octave. Ang 1, the 1 is prime. And 8 is octave. Lahi ilan no? It differ. Okay, in the staff, we have 5 lines. No, 5 lines in the staff. And we have 4 spaces. Okay, What have you noticed about the note in number 3? The note in number 3. Okay, in number 3, that is the beginning of the line. Anha mag-start ang note sa line sa number 3. The rest below the 1 and 2 is below the line. Always remember that 1 and 2 below the line. They are on the space below the first line. That's right. And we start the first line in the third note. And this is how we count the interval of the notes. Space, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, line. Okay, again, this is how we count the interval of the notes. Line, we will start the space na lang, kaning sa number 2. Space, line, space, line, space, line, space, line. Okay. So, for more understanding or to learn how to count the intervals of notes written on the staff, I will give you more example. Okay, number 1. What have you noticed about the note? We only have 2, right? So, this is how you count the note. You need to count every line and space starting from the lower note. Asa man ang lower note? Below, kanas ubos. Going to the next note. So, you're not going to count under. Kanang wala sa staff. Kana rang naa sa staff imo i-count. So, the lower note, that is the starting, and going to the next note. So, in the first example, let's count. The first note is located on the line. Line. Sunod, we will count space. And next, we will count line. Okay. What is the interval? Line number 1, space number 2, line number 3. Okay, we have 3. We have 3, right? And the interval is third. Very good. Again, how we will count the interval of the note? We will start from the lower note going to the next note. Second. Okay, the lower note is on the line. No, on the line. So, let's start. Line man. So, line, space, line, space, line, space. Okay, let's count. Line, space, line, space, line. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what is the interval? We have fifth interval. Okay, let's try. It is your time to shine. If you learn about our lesson. Try. I will give you 5 seconds. 1. Stop. Okay. The first note of the lower note is on the space. So, space, line, space, line, space, line. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, what is the interval? 4. Very good. You did did it right. Number 2. We have quarter notes. 2 quarter notes. Okay. Do you remember that the staff has 2? The prime and the second is on the space under the first line. Okay, in this time, there is 2 space to count. No. Ding. I will give you 5 seconds. Okay, let's answer. Okay, it consists 2 spaces, right? Kay the correct space no, duha ni. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, the interval is 7. Very good. The third example. Wow. Again, in the stop, the prime the second is below or under the first line. Okay, what is the interval? Very easy. 1, 2. Very good. Second. Next, we have they have the same line, the same space. Rather, what do you call that? Interval. They have on the same space and the same line. The answer is prime. Very good, prime. Good job. Okay, for more understanding, let's watch this video.
This video builds on what we've learned so far in the reading music, key signature, and building scales videos. So if you haven't seen those yet, please watch them first. Links are in the description. In music, intervals are the relationship between any 2 notes. The name of the interval has 2 parts. First, the type of the interval, and second, the distance the 2 notes are from each other. To find the distance 2 notes are from each other, count the lines and spaces on the staff separating the 2 notes, including the line or space the first note is on. For example, if we have this F and C on the treble clef, we will count the F space as 1, the G line is 2, the A space is 3, the B line is 4, and the C space is 5. So the distance these 2 notes are from each other is a fifth. Let's do another example in bass clef this time. If we have this B and D, we will count the B line as 1, the C space is 2, and the D line is 3. So the distance these 2 notes are from each other is a third. Practice on your own, finding the distances between 2 notes by counting the lines and spaces between them to get more comfortable with the process. When first learning about intervals, some teachers only want the distance of the interval and not the type. So definitely practice learning how to find the distance of an interval first before moving on to the type of intervals. Now for the second part.
Okay, that was an example of intervals in music. I hope that you learned some in our lesson. And you can now start answering your activity. Thank you for listening. Keep safe. Goodbye, children.